We expect the digital world to respond to our keystrokes instantly. You click, and a dashboard loads. You tap, and a video streams. Data transfer appears as a frictionless, continuous flow of information. But behind that split-second response, an enormous amount of computational labor is taking place. A SIML request for a user dashboard requires the system to verify authentication tokens, calculate role-based permissions, query a relational database for user records, and aggregate recent activity metrics. Doing this from scratch drives the latency for one request up to 850 milliseconds. Now multiply that single request by 10,000 concurrent users. If every one of those requests forces the system to recalculate everything from zero, the back-end database becomes overwhelmed, dropping connections and bringing the entire application to a halt. To survive this load, we have to intercept these repeated requests before they ever reach the database. We do this by storing copies of those expensive computations in a faster, much closer layer of the application architecture. Junior engineering patterns often treat this layer as a simple performance optimization, a switch to toggle when a database query runs slow. In high-scale architecture, caching is a deliberate trade-off. We choose to sacrifice absolute data freshness to reduce latency and protect the underlying infrastructure. Architecting a global SaaS application requires building highly specific, interconnected caching layers from the network edge down to the database, enforcing strict rules for state synchronization and security at every tier. The first defensive layer sits at the physical network boundary, far away from your backend servers. This layer exclusively handles static assets, the CSS files, JavaScript bundles, and public images that do not change from user to user. Instead of forcing a UK user to pull a thumbnail all the way from a US origin server, a content delivery network intercepts the request. The CDN serves a cached copy from a local London edge node, drastically shrinking the physical latency. We dictate how long these files live in the user's browser, or the CDN, through HTTP headers like cache control and etag. For static assets, we use a versioned file name pattern. When the application updates, we deploy a new file named app.v2.js instead of overwriting version 1. Because the file name itself changes, the browser naturally downloads the new asset. This allows engineers to cache public assets aggressively for years at a time, completely bypassing the complex problem of cache invalidation. However, edge caching creates significant operational risks when applied to authenticated data. Private assets like paid course videos, confidential financial documents, or user-specific API responses cannot be stored in a shared public cache. If a CDN caches an authenticated dashboard page, the next visitor to hit that edge node may receive the previous user's private data. Edge caching solves physical network latency for static files. To safely distribute private media, we enforce tokenized access, requiring signed URLs that authenticate the user before the edge node releases the file. Moving inward from the edge, we reach the backend application cluster. Here, we rely on centralized, in-memory data stores like Redis. While the CDN holds static files, Redis handles dynamic, expensive-to-compute state. This is where we store real-time dashboard metrics, session tokens, and complex permission roles. Because Redis stores data in RAM, it is incredibly fast, but highly volatile. Memory limits dictate that old data will be evicted, and a server restart will wipe the slate entirely. Every piece of data placed here must be rebuildable from the durable database. To safely locate this dynamic state across millions of requests, we rely on key determinism, a strict mathematical rule for indexing data in a shared environment. If we use a generic cache key, the cache cannot distinguish the user. Tenant B requests a dashboard and receives tenant A's highly sensitive financial data. We fix this by replacing the generic label with an explicitly scoped string, dashboard:tenant:ABC:summary:2026. By forcing the tenant ID, user role, and exact query parameters directly into the keystring, we guarantee total isolation within a multi-tenant platform. Correct key design acts as the primary logical boundary for data isolation, ensuring that even in a high-speed, shared memory environment, one user's state is never accessible to another. Once we have secure keys, we have to solve the synchronization problem. We need a defined mechanism to move durable data from the database into the volatile cache memory. The industry standard is the cache aside pattern. The application requests data from the cache node. If it gets a miss, it routes to the database, pulls the record, and loops back to write the result into the cache before returning it to the user. This lazy approach carries a penalty. The first request incurs full latency. For highly consistent data, we use write-through. A single write updates the cache and database simultaneously, guaranteeing zero read latency on subsequent requests. Conversely, the write-behind pattern writes to the cache first and updates the database later. While fast, using this for critical financial or subscription state is extremely risky. If the cache node fails before the background write completes, the data is permanently lost. Writing data is straightforward. The hardest problem in caching is invalidation, safely removing or updating that data the moment the underlying source of truth changes. For non-critical data, we can rely on simple time-to-live expirations, letting keys delete themselves after a few minutes. When security permissions are revoked, we cannot wait for a timer. Precise, event-driven background workers must instantly locate and purge the associated cache keys. Selecting a cache write pattern requires an explicit architectural calculation. You are balancing the strict requirement for low read latency against the operational complexity of handling partial write failures. Caching introduces a severe operational paradox. A system designed specifically to protect your database can trigger the exact mechanism that destroys it. This happens during a cache stampede, a catastrophic failure event triggered when a highly trafficked key expires right in the middle of peak load. When the cache for a popular course page drops, thousands of concurrent requests miss the expired key at the exact same millisecond. They all route directly to the backend database simultaneously, overloading its connection pool and forcing the entire system offline. Engineers try to mitigate this with complex locking mechanisms to queue the requests, but the optimal strategy is a pattern called stale while revalidate. Stale while revalidate intentionally serves slightly outdated data to the user pool. When a key expires, the cache does not delete it. Instead, it instantly returns the stale data to maintain zero latency for the user. Behind the scenes, the system spins up a single, isolated background process. This solitary worker safely queries the database, pulls the fresh data, and silently updates the cache without exposing the backend to the massive traffic spike. High availability engineering requires architects to accept controlled, temporary data staleness. This trade-off guarantees absolute system survivability during traffic surges. A mature caching architecture does not rely on a single piece of technology. It is built through a series of layered, engineered constraints. At the outer network layer, we utilize aggressive, versioned edge caching for public assets and strict CDN-signed URLs to protect proprietary media. Moving inward to the backend layer, application servers route dynamic state into centralized Redis instances, strictly organized by tenant-scoped cache keys. At the lowest level, traffic flows are governed by cache-aside logic, with a stale while revalidate barriers shielding the database from catastrophic stampedes. Yet, adding these layers can never serve as a bandage for inefficient queries or a poorly indexed database. The database must always remain the ultimate, durable source of truth for the application. The cache exists only to accelerate access, not to act as the permanent system of record. When caching layers are built using strict mathematical rules for latency, key determinism, and invalidation, they provide the necessary structural stability to scale an application to a global user base.